Okay, I think I'm live. Alrighty, I'm going to do a little bit of a chant. We have some interesting topics to cover today. In the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee into my temple of peace. I have a little bit different melody for this than some of you might know. In the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee to my altar of peace, and coax thee to my altar of peace. One more time. In the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee to my altar of peace, and coax thee to my altar of peace. Welcome everyone. I hope it's streaming today. Had a bit of a meltdown yesterday when after 2 tries, it just didn't work. And I hope it's working today. Turns out yesterday it all had to do with these things, though I didn't know it at the time. Interestingly enough, the video that we've been working with since COVID-19, we discover that the more important thing is not the video, it's the sound. Curious, isn't it? Okay, Whispers from Eternity. We're on number 131, entitled Open My Inner Eye. Open my inner eye, O fountain of light, that I may behold thee in the dance of the myriad-hued atoms. First open the doors of space, that I may see thee behind the swirling mists of material illusion. Behind thy walls of brilliant cosmic rays, thou art hiding. Open every portal in nature, that I may see thee everywhere. You know, honesty is a great quality, and yet sometimes honesty doesn't pay. After all, we're all going through different things. Is it honest to say that when I'm currently angry that this is who I am? Should I admit to just any old Joe or Sally that, I have this or that fault? Won't they possibly hold that up psychically every time they think of me or interact with me? But on the question of honesty, when I read poems like this, I'll come back to that. On the path of yoga, and particularly as Yoganandaji has brought it to the world, to the West, and so forth, he upholds the ancient teachings of cosmic consciousness, of high states of consciousness, with all sorts of psychic phenomena, astral and causal phenomena taking place on the path of our awakening. The awakening, as the yogis say, of the Kundalini power. There's so much in the tradition of yoga, Tantra, Kriya, Ashtanga, all these different things that speak in poetic terms, metaphorical terms, archetypal forms that are unfamiliar and somewhat uncomfortable to our right-brained, Western, logical, rational, scientific way of expressing ourselves and our interests. And so when my dear Guruji, one master as we call him, talks about opening the inner eye that I may behold thee in the dance of the myriad-hued atoms, bursting open the doors of space that I may see thee behind the swirling mists of material illusion. He speaks in this way throughout Whispers from Eternity. He's speaking to us through the veils of matter, the veils of emotions and thoughts, of electrical energies and so forth. But, I was born and raised Christian, Catholic actually, and the idea that if I'm a good bunny, I'm going to go to heaven, it's okay. But I don't like being promised stuff that, I can't realize, I can't have some experience of. And so, as much as I would love to behold those myriad hued atoms and so forth, I can't say that I have. And so, am I going to represent myself as a teacher of self realization, a teacher of yoga, and talk about things I haven't experienced? Actually, yes. But here's the thing, there's so much about the world, even of matter, of nature, that are being revealed to us through the evolution of scientific discovery. We don't think twice about believing science's testimony about dark matter and dark energy and black holes and all sorts of things we'll never experience. So, if the great masters and yogis speak of things that we haven't experienced, let us at least be as open to that as we are to the testimony of scientists who are as flawed human beings as the rest of us. And there's yet something more, even more important than just being open. It has to do with the fact that the spiritual path, no matter how you may live it, journey it, first starts with doing that. Like a scientist, you may have an hypothesis, or like Einstein, a thought experiment, but you have to work it out, even if it's only done mathematically in terms of science. But you have to prove it. And so it is with the spiritual path. And this is why the yogic path is so wonderful for our, I get it mixed up, right brain? Yeah, right brain consciousness, because it puts aside somewhat, not entirely, but it puts aside the need for belief, the affirmation of belief. You're not going to do something difficult without some expectations, without some anticipation, some belief. But nonetheless, the beauty of the path of meditation, which to me is equivalent to the word yoga, although that isn't true for most of millions of people on this planet, they think of yoga as something physical. But in truth, and I like to speak the truth, yoga refers to the inner awakening of spiritual consciousness through the scientific, time-tested, yet timely practices of breath awareness, breath control, body awareness, body control, body disciplines, as well as all the other aspects of right attitude and selflessness, devotion, generosity, compassion, etc., that are universal to every religion and every spiritual tradition. Nonetheless, yoga is uniquely suited, meditation is uniquely suited to the needs of our culture, the needs of our consciousness, because through the practice of daily yoga, we get to experience for ourselves the consequences. And in the beginning, you're probably not going to see cool things like the spiritual eye or hear the inner sounds of the chakras or the music of the spheres known as the Om vibration, although you might. Nonetheless, the consequences of yoga practice are being tested by science today. And the myriad physical health benefits are unquestioned because they've been proven. But the psychic and emotional and intellectual and mental benefits are just as easily accessed by anyone. And so those provide for us validation of at least the likelihood of the higher reaches of consciousness, to know God as even feeling peaceful, to know God as the awakening of calmness, the awakening of sympathy. Are these not divine soul qualities? And so a little bit of a mental adjustment about what is considered spiritual may be necessary for some people, but I'm willing to place my bets myriad-hued atoms, because my life and practice of meditation has shown me many, many things that are important to my daily life. Insights, intuition, um, creativity, health, many, many gifts. I like to call them the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Um, I have experienced to my own degree, and that's enough testimony for me when I review the testimony of the sages down through the ages. So many blessings. Listen for those whispers from eternity, which come in wordless form often, in terms of feeling, sometimes a few little words. Listen. God bless you. And today's Friday, right? Okay, so we'll be back online Monday at 12 noon. Okay, joy to y'all. Here we go. Guess I have to wait a few minutes till this thing does its thing. Not really sure, but I am going to wait anyway. See you later, alligator. Hey, tomorrow, 11 a.m., go online, anandawa.org. We have a 1-hour celebration of Yogananda's arrival in Boston Harbor exactly 100 years ago today. Don't miss it. Okay, I'm done.